And that too, and then that has a value. So now, and this is where I'll get real crazy with you. Here's 3 layers of content for the next basketball league. You ready? The physical, the digital twin, the robot.
That we get back to talking about this community, because that, I think that's one way, and that I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, it may be the tagline you use there. If you change the game, change the community.
I'm the game changer, the mover, the shaker. With every basket, I'm a community maker. I'm the game changer, the mover, the shaker. With every basket, I'm a community maker.
Great question. So the No Backboard Basketball League, the vision of it is a new recreational basketball platform to provide opportunities for Black and brown individuals to actually own wealth creating assets in the sports space. So today on the No Backboard Basketball Show, I have the pleasure of having Mike Johns on the show. Let me tell you a little bit about this amazing brother here. Mike Johns is a globally celebrated futurist and AI expert who brings technology and culture with a mission to leave no one behind. As a founder of Digital Mind State, he's collaborated with international tech leaders like Finland's Flowed and China's Hansoon Technology while speaking at prestigious events such as the World Economic Forum. Mike's efforts focus on humanizing tech, making it accessible and inclusive through projects like Make America Smart AI 4, which brings AI education to underserved communities. From viral experiments with Sophie the robot to shaping ethical AI policies, he's driving a future where innovation uplifts everyone, everywhere. And to me, Mike operates at the intersection of technology, corporate strategy, and culture, serving as a connector, ambassador, and guide. Mike is a wordsmith who effortlessly drops bars and knowledge in every conversation and has been a supporter of the No Backboard Basketball League effort, both challenging my thinking while respecting my perspective on how to bring the NBBL to the market. Mike Johns, welcome to the show, my man. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's a wonderful thing. It's good to see you. It's been a minute. Hey,
Yeah.
I want to jump right into our conversation. And I wanted to start the conversation at a point where our audience, my audience, will be able to relate out the gate. So there's 2 viral videos I want to talk about to set the table. So the first is a little older one of a social influencer named Lisa Shooter having a shootout with a robot. And that robot was shooting the mess out the ball. And the second is a more recent video of Steph Curry shooting with a little basket on wheels, rebounding and passing him the ball. So what are we seeing? My question to you is, based upon your work out there with sports leagues and tech, et cetera, what are you seeing out there with the convergence of robotics and AI in sports today? Let's start off from there.
Man, to come, right? I think it's the evolution of things and where we're going. And the first entryway is, let's start with the wearable technology. Wearable technology is your AI, your low-hanging fruit that you put on, From there, we start to progress and, on some real futuristic stuff. You can go from wearable tech to cyborg to robot. In the grand scheme of things, I do believe I just having a real nice powwow with Uncle Lee Steinberg. Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a robot league. It's to come. And there's some of the players that I know in the NFL that, I got to give a shout out to Arizona running back DJ. He over there called it. He was like, "Yo, there's going to be robots that'll take your job," and he believes that even in that game and in the NBA, that data, being that it's data driven, that AI will replace the coach. So AI will replace the coach ultimately, and there will be a robot league. How about that? Let's start there. Yeah.
It's interesting. Now, question. We're seeing the integration with, I don't know if it's hardcore robotics, but the robotic accessories. So someone who may be a paraplegic,
Exoskeletons.
an exoskeleton. Do you think there's a potential to have a gap where we have the
Exoskeleton.
exoskeleton and the athlete working together before we get to the robot stage? Could you see that type of evolution happening where instead of performance enhancing drugs, it's performance enhancing technology?
There's going to be distortions, just like podcasts being episodes, being shows, being audio, being videos. It's blurred lines. Mixtapes being mixtapes and now being featured on YouTube. It's blurred lines. And so when I talked about cyborgs, that's really the exoskeletons, right? That's what a cyborg is. You add that the exoskeleton allows for the machine to do make you almost damn near feel like you're the hawk, right? Now you integrate some AI to that. You got some Iron Man features going on here, and that's what that is. That's the cyborg, right? What I liked about that question is that we have to get to this education of human uh, autonomous relationship, human robotic relationships, right? And that's really big. What does that look like? That's a new territory. And you're going to see that more and more in work, right? The Detroit auto plants has already integrated that, because robots is not just about being on all four legs. It could be an arm, right? Working side by side with you on a plant. So you got certain integrations that are happening. But when it comes to sports, now, just for your viewers and listeners and all that good stuff, we're talking clearly 2040, 2045, 2050 right here. But I'm a futurist, so you brought me on the show. You can put one in the air. We're gonna have a futuristic conversation on where the game is ultimately going, the integration of AI. Hell, I even talk quantum physics on your ass. So let's go.
No, not a quantum physics part. I stay abreast of the quantum computing and the breakthroughs.
Right.
I'm one of those. I'm not a hardcore techie, right? But as you know, I've been around tech for a long
Mhm.
time, and I like to stay
Yeah.
aware of the emerging
You're
trends,
you're you're on the cups. You know what's going on.
which is uh so that when something comes across that I know I actually can use, like blockchain, NFTs, et cetera, then I can lean into those technologies and apply to the no backboard backside quantum. So you mentioned something about the coach replace AI replacing the coach, because you're hearing now about there will be $1 billion, maybe $1 trillion company that emerges that's purely AI. The AI is making the decisions, et cetera. One thing I could see that happens between now and 2035, 40, 45, 50 is the emergence of the AI agent, right? So, man, my first experience with ChatGPT, Tony Stark and Jarvis. Two things. I immediately related to Tony Stark and Jarvis, but I think this will resonate with you as well. I immediately saw how a person could connect with a inanimate, if you would,
Right.
object or entity and develop a relationship. So that your
Yeah.
statement about the autonomous robots working in the factory kind of kicked that off. What do you think was going to happen in that space around the agent assistant? Because I see a great opportunity in sports before uh, the robotics really kick in, for agents really to help athletes, AI agents really to help athletes take everything to the next level. What do you think that could look like?
Well, Actually, in this conversation, you got me thinking about, when we talk about will robots or AI take my job? Can you imagine the outsourcing of head coaches via AI,
Hmm.
right? Those are bold thoughts that we have to have by
Hmm.
2040. And digital twins should be something that we'll discuss in this conversation as well. But I really think about that where you need those head coaches, AI would be an outsourced company. It doesn't even so that we keep the fairness of the game. We further add a layer to the security of the game that referee, that head coach, that would be an outsourced thing to the NBA. That's part of the disruption. But to answer your question about AI agents, um, oh, that's like your amigo, that's your friend. For a head coach, for the player in terms of their day-to-day routine to get their most optimal performance per day, per practice, your reps, um, before and after a game. And then also for a coach, right? It's how they want to leverage their agent and for the task that they're doing. And that's a key thing, right? When you talk about an agentic AI, is the term. When we're talking about that, you're then talking about how you're going to leverage your partner for the task. And so in this game of sports, in the Lee Steinberg uh, play, it would be an agent, assistant, and an agent. The agent knows his patterns and makes a lot of assists him in making those decisions. Those that are repetitious, I can go ahead and make those decisions. Anything that's a routine, I can go ahead and knock that out the park for you and allow you to escalate your level just on things that are like kind of critical thinking, more critical thinking, more deep dive matters, right? So, um, again, for the player, the agent will let them know, hey, here, your heart rate was this, your levels were these, this is what we can improve on, this is what we can do, especially as it's talking with you, right? It's your friend working with you to be the best that you can be. For the head coach, it's working with the head coach to be the best coach that they can be, to be the best motivator, to be the best um, tactical, know which plays to actually call at the right time in the right moment. Yeah.
I just had a vision. I, we had practice, right? I'm in the car, I'm leaving the
Mhm.
facility, and all of a sudden my Jarvis pops up and starts talking to me like, hey, you really didn't go hard today. Huh, you really didn't go hard today. Or based upon your performance last night, I recommended you do X, Y, and Z. I noticed that this didn't get done.
Right.
And it's having those type of conversations.
Yeah.
Um, man. Now, the other thing that came up as a coach myself,
Mhm.
I look forward to the day where you have a live coach with minimal access to real-time data to his athletes versus an AI coach who's receiving all of the biomedical, all the feedback into the system, and they play against each other, similar like chess.
Yeah.
Or you're probably aware of the Korean AI, the game Go. I'm sure you're
Mhm.
aware of that story where uh, I would be excited to see that happen, right? Because from my seat, for example, in basketball, there's been this push based upon statistic to shoot a lot of 3-pointers, right? Based upon my data study and studying the Loyola Marymount University teams, their offense, their approach, I can make a strong argument that those the statistics that are driving the whole 3-point movement is a smokescreen to drive a separate agenda,
Mhm.
right? Because if they're saying the best way to win in basketball is X, Y, and Z, I don't think, based upon my data, I can show you another way to win in basketball that historically has been more efficient in doing that. What do you think about that?
That is how you want to manipulate it. Just like my shirt. That is just how you want to manipulate it. So if you want to tell the story the way that you want to, that's fine. If you want to tell the story another way, that's fine. What that does take me to is really that the ultimate judge, the ultimate decision maker in it is the fans. How do the fans want to see it? And that's where crowd sourcing comes into play, crowdfund programs come into play. Just the ability to have a platform where the fans can interact and make the decision. Because ultimately, that's what they're the ones who are the ticketers that pay for the tickets to come into the games. Those are the decision makers. All right.
Well, you just mentioned something about fans. I want to see if I can share this with you.
Mhm.
Um, because you said
Just share your
something.
screen real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Can you see this?
Yeah. Blockchain-based compensations for pro sports. Oh, let's break this
Okay.
down.
So there's two events in basketball that caused me to kind of come up with this. And your feedback on let the fans decide makes me want to share this, right? So the
Yeah.
first one was the complaints about effort of professional basketballs, and these guys are going to be paying a lot of money. It's sensation legit. And the
Hmm.
second one was when Kyrie Irving took his stance on the vaccine, he got punished by sponsors while his core fan base supported him, right?
Right.
So when you look at this model here, you know, let's just say most sports leagues know their budget ahead of time. It's $1 billion a year. You split that in half. Half of it goes to fixed contracts. You have 10 teams in the league. Each team has 15 players. The team ranks them, and then every number one player gets the same rate. Every number two player gets the same rate, all the way down to 15. Then the second pool of the salary, the other 500,000, is split up amongst all of the games and is issued after the game as a uh, game bonus payout. And part of that payout is based upon the social media sentiment of the fans on your performance on that particular evening. So it's a way to tie in a compensation model to keep it balanced, as well as allowing fans to have more input uh, into the actual compensation. Now, this is something I don't think that can be rolled out to professional sports, but it's definitely something that we're looking into with the no backboard basketball league as a model to test within our environment, and then maybe
Yes.
sometime in the future professional league that wants to have a more balanced compensation, that wants to reward athletes more for playing and performance, and as well as wants to have tools that measure fans and social sentiment on the athlete. So if an athlete takes a stand that may appear controversial, but his core audience is rocking with him, that advertiser has a hard decision.
Right.
You know, and so you had mentioned something else. Uh, One of the concepts I had for a NFT, particularly back in 2001, 2021, was a progression. So the first one would just be like a sketch, right? The second one would look more like a video game. The third one would be an avatar, your digital twin. I think this is an avatar that is interoperable, so it can move around in different platforms and it can represent you in these virtual environments.
Hmm.
Is that in line with your vision of what a digital twin is, or what exactly is a digital twin to you?
Your avatar is your avatar. Your digital twin is you. Your
Mm.
avatar is something that you can make up and be whoever you want to be. But your digital twin, here's something that's happening in the medical world. I can have a kind of a digital clone version of you to perform um, testing to see what medical, because I have all the DNA on you as your clone, your digital clone, which is your twin. Now I can perform certain testing to know how your body's going to react before I actually inject onto you. So you and I, before I joined your podcast, because I love what you're doing, and when we were talking about an AI basketball league as a subheader to no backboard, that part, I also was, on beyond my stuff, the I love data. Again, look at my shirt. Data is your tangible version of the soul. Data is the tangible version of your soul, hence your digital twin. And it's deep right there. That's church. You heard it here first on my guy's show, right?
Oh,
That's the
I'm feeling
soundbite.
that.
You did.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, you want to be on play. I can have two basketball leagues, the physical version and a digital twin version. In this digital twin version, I got all the DNA of Magic Johnson going up against LeBron. We can do a
Mm.
different version, but this digital twin is that sole data of this. Oh, that's great,
It's
right?
like the ability to do modeling before you actually cut.
Yeah, yeah.
How
Right.
do you?
And that too,
So,
and then that has a value. So now, and this is where I'll get real crazy with you. Here's three layers of content for the next basketball league. You ready? The physical, the digital twin, the robot.
so I know.
The digital twin would be great for the gamers.
Yes.
Ready
No.
Player One. At
I'm
this
already.
point, on Ready Player Five. Right.
So
This is happening. I want to be clear for the audience. This is happening, right? So that's why when I talk to you before getting on your show, I keep bringing up that digital twin. You want to get to know that injection into the game. One for the health of the individual player. I almost look at also capturing the soul. So you're hearing me just talk, brother to brother, where I'm gonna go there. You're really capturing the soul of these people, the digital soul of these people. And now with that new entity, that new it, what else do we want to do with it in this capitalist world? What else do we want to do? How else do we want to package that? Right? Because that becomes something.
that makes me think NBA 2K. I'm not a gamer. I have friends that are gamers. And then when I last checked NBA 2K, we connected online, they updating the player stats. So you're playing with the
Yes.
player with his
Yes.
real time stats at that time. If that's the direction we would connecting with the digital twin, that type of concept that this is a
It's that
digital
2K on super steroids.
mm, mm.
That was the primitive. We're still in the prehistoric age of where we are now, but yeah, it'll be dummy by 2040. And that's
So
why it's
then,
very important that we make sure that our kids are involved right now. So my son, I make sure everything he's knowing because what dad gives him, he's able to take that and go even further or be aligned with what the NBA and those that know behind closed doors know, right? Because disruption is happening. We're in a capitalist society, and we may want a sport where the humans are on steroids, and let's just see how we can max it out in that form. We also want the cyber form. We may want the digital twin form, and then we want the robot form. It's all for the entertainment. Don't worry about the days of what did they do in the
gladiators,
in the Roman Empire, the uh,
gladiators.
gladiators, right? That's the
Yeah.
original sport of it all,
Hmm.
right? The joustings. We've stretched that out now.
So with our last couple of minutes, I want to toss this another one of my ideas. In your digital twin piece tells me we can achieve this. Uh, we have our league, our players have our player tokens, we're having our data with it. We can have a marketplace where there's a digital twin or avatar of that player that's a digital twin, like a Robocon. Now there's avatar can play, right?
Yeah.
And me as a fan, I'm playing with Mike Johns, who's playing in the No Backboard Basketball League. I'm playing with him with his real stats and ability in a virtual world version of him in a virtual platform. And what I'm hearing is, man, that is unfolding right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, it's happening right now. You want to be on so with the no backboard league, that's already in the strategy. That's what makes it so unique is the fact that they know that the next 10 years is more important than the last 100. So this forward thinking entity is knowing that yes, not only are we podcasting, but we're building players that are you're a platform building the players of the future. Right. And in that player of the future, here's how we're playing. These are your breakdowns, right? That player should be monetizing across the board. Their digital twin is monetizing. The robot version of that is monetizing because the robot version of that is AI. And so all those things become who they point. The human built the digital twin, built the cyborg, built the digital twin, built the robot. 4 ways for the player to monetize, 4 ways for the league to monetize. NIL to the roof, right? Digital twins just destroyed NIL because that's just like DNA stuff, right? It's to the next level.
So you have me excited on that.
All, just check this out, just in the time, just to get it going for you. In the craziness of it all, and
Go ahead and land the plane.
Because technology becomes so wild west and the opportunities are so abundant, that's why refereeing through drones, AI, they're going to have all that. That's going to be going. But there is a need for it to be third party. That's a part of the disruption in the integrity of the game, that certain things will have to be powered by another outfit, different entities within this game, within this 1 hour entertainment, powered by these people. These trusted people make the game that you watch, and they're trusted brands. It's all a part of the new world that we're moving into. And it's happening right now. The future is the past.
The future is the past. Hey, Mike Johns, our time is wrapping up, man. I want to thank you very much for making it on the show. I'm going to have to circle back when we make our next leap and bring you in to break it down for the people again. And we're inviting people to jump on the ship.
Digital trades, Web3 crusades, transparency in play. Community gets to say. NFTs, digital cards, revolution so large. Yeah, carry out. Market trends we bend to our community extend. Future-proof the game, text the flame, sparking growth. No 2 days the same, from virtual court to real-world sports. We're setting up the plays, an innovative source.
We hooping, no stopping, no hooping society popping. No Backboard League, it's more than a game. It's a movement, a groove, economic change. From courts to boardrooms, we making waves. A hooper society, yeah, we paved the way.
We've launched a fantastic journey, voyage, if you would, lakeside. And